As a QC audit for job 33011, this 180th Business Park, done by Chad Blau's crew, November 27th through the 29th. So before I start this video, there's a couple issues we got going on out here. We got some puddles, we got some raveling, and then just some patches that look a little rough. The patches that look rough were on a day where the screed heat broke on Tacoma's paver, and they did the best they could, and all things considered, I think the product turned out well, because it's B-mod, so as you can tell in here, you know, any spot that got just the rake drug over it to pull the large aggregate off the top shows really hard right now. This will lessen as we go through, but and then the raveling section, which is right here, this is the last little bit of mix they did on the end day, getting it out of the truck to try to get the very last of the work. They didn't think they were going to be able to get it, and they tried to use the last little bit that was in the truck, and they lost temperature on it. So so that's what this triangle is, and that's why it is unraveling from the temps of the tar cooling down. But considering they had an open hole and they were just trying to close it up and use the rest of what they had in the truck to get it done, I kind of understand that. Now, the puddles here, this whole property, as you can tell by all the existing, it's extremely tight everywhere. There's puddles on existing everywhere, and there's also puddles on our patches. So some of it's really tight that I don't think we can do anything about, and then there's a couple of spots that we might be able to alleviate a little bit. So I'm just gonna go over and identify what these are, and then I'm gonna get the transit out and try and shoot and see what of these, if any, we can solve. So there's essentially a low area. Some of it runs down that way and some of it runs down this way. So we broke this patch up into two different phases because the customer needed access to this back lot. And so because of that, when we did phase one, we should have brought it up a little bit higher so that we could have guaranteed fall coming out on phase two. And then just a little bit low on an edge there, and a little bit low at our start point there coming off. This patch here has some water sitting, and he's concerned about right here. So this is the one section that we knew was really tight, and we got it to flow through here while we were paving it, putting the level on it. But this puddle right here sunk during the rolling, so that is a spot that is fixable, getting that water to push out. But as far as the rest of this, slow flow through this flow line, like, that is what it is. It's all under 1% through that patch. And we do have a spot on this ADA coming up, and again, you know, showing this lot, it's really flat out here, so everything has water sitting everywhere on existing. So this one we definitely need to fix, and again, I'm going to shoot the transit and get this to fix. But super tight flow here coming through, and they rolled it down into creating a flow line around that curb. But these are roller stop marks here, and they did have some base issues, and this was the day with the screed heat problems that we were having. So as you can tell, the screed wasn't floating on it like it should be. It was dragging, and we got some issues there. A lot of that'll work itself out just because it's new and fresh and B-mod. But these three puddles we cannot have sitting here. So basically we've created a crown at this point, and it flows really slow and tight through here. And these are all handicap spots, but we need to bring basically where this wheel stop area is, we need to bring it up a little higher so that it sheets down this way through this tight flow and down that way off that tight flow. Aside from that, the rest of this phase, this is phase 3 that we're in right now. Again, it looks really shadowed, and it already looks a lot better than it did in the pictures. You know, they were aware that right when they went to pave, heat wasn't working and they're having some issues. There is some inconsistencies in it a little bit. You can feel it on your feet. Driving over it, not too bad. But you can definitely tell everywhere that was raked and everywhere the screed was scraping through. So it looks better in person than it does on camera. But again, not our best looking on this phase specifically. The raking edge height is pretty dang good. This whole area, super tight, but the edge height is pretty good. And I know there was a depth issue out here too, so we were going over. A lot of this was in a lift and some of it went full depth and we couldn't break a clean lift off. You know, this patch right here was like 8 inches deep. But all things considered, a lot of these look really good. Here's another one, it's holding a little bit of water. Again, it's really tight through here, and you can tell it's trying to move just really slowly. And you can see on existing how it's moving really slow as it is anyway. It does get here, you can see how the water in the wet spot does get here, but it's under 0.5% fall, so it's just barely creeping as it's rolling. This is the perfect amount of water for this video, so you can really see what it's trying to do and also what the existing conditions look like. So I also walked the ones up top. I'll run up there real quick. But it's kind of the same situation where we have some tight areas. There's a puddle that's existing sitting halfway on our patch that I don't think we can avoid. This one looks really good, by the way, but just I mean, some of the best edges I've seen in a while. So great job on paver and raker height on these patches. This is one that we went over our tonnage on. It's already saw cut, but went extra deep in this back section, so we might get to this patch, might not. But up here, this is the end of phase number 2, second day. We got this slow flow line creeping across the edge here. And then there's water coming in off the back side of the road. You can see it sitting in the gravel there next to our patch. And they did dish this and ran it through. Hangs up a little bit, but all this is like 0.2 through here, so really tight. This is one spot where the existing has a belly that we were matching. So I think the only way to get this puddle gone is to remove a farther section and come out more, but for the scope that we had, like, everything flows. And then this one corner that's holding up because it looks like it's high, but they do have it low down here at the corner, and it's just really slow flow. And we got a slight hump right there, but the water does roll down and move after that. Again, it's just crazy tight. So that is how we're sitting. Not our best looking work, but with the challenges we were facing the time of year, I understand the reason behind the issues that we have out here. So we will get on how to alleviate these puddles.